Paul Mancano, joined by MASN Orioles insider Rock Cabaco. Rock, I think we got to rename the Orioles Hot Stove Show to the Lewin Díaz Show because we are opening our show once again with some roster move about Lewin Díaz. He has finally cleared waivers, and he is remaining in the organization. The Orioles did it. The gamble paid off.
Yes, and he's here now. Would you please welcome him? That would have been great. We'll find out later if there's as much ado about nothing. So we've talked so much about him. You know, maybe we see him for a few weeks in the majors. Maybe we never see him. Maybe he doesn't make it through the whole year in the organization. We don't know. But the key is that the Orioles wanted, ideally, Díaz and Ryan O'Hearn in the organization, but not on the 40-man. And it took a while, but it worked. So O'Hearn accepted his outright assignment. Díaz finally cleared waivers, was outrighted. So they can come to camp, but they're not taking up room on the 40. And then if they don't make the club, and it would be one of them as a backup first baseman, O'Hearn obviously also plays the outfield, you need first baseman in AAA. So they're also planning for that. I mean, who were the primary first basemen in Norfolk last year? It wasn't like all the shortstops that they had and all the outfielders. There weren't a lot of first basemen, and guys are out of the organization. So they could both end up on that roster with O'Hearn playing some outfield and then sharing first base with Díaz as well. So it just makes sense to have both of those guys in the organization. It was just key to have them here, but not on the 40, and Díaz finally can unpack his bags and feel comfortable that he has an organization.
Yeah, and once a lot of the first basemen got signed in free agency, whether it have been Eric Hosmer, Trey Mancini, the Orioles were clearly going to go this route in terms of backing up Ryan Mountcastle. They also have Anthony Santander, who never played a game at first base in the big leagues, but did take some reps over there. Do you think he may be a candidate come spring training to work his way into the first base conversation?
I think he is more so than he was last season. It was more of a just in case. Like they knew eventually Trey Mancini was going to be gone. If we don't have anybody else, someone's going to back up Mountcastle. They ended up getting Jesus Aguilar, who's no longer in the organization. So I think there's a much better chance. The plan is to have him obviously be the main right fielder, but also play a lot first base / DH to keep his bat in the lineup because they have other options in right field. Obviously, you also can have Adley Rutschman, who we know played first some in college and in the minors, but not with the Orioles, but took ground balls. And I think the plan now, so he doesn't wear out too much behind the plate, is to have him play some first base to keep the bat in the lineup. Again, when he isn't DHing, Taron Vavra, if he makes the club, could be another guy over there. So there's some in-house guys. I think James McCann now, the backup catcher, can play some first base. He did it with the Mets the last couple of years. So I think it could very well, the backup could be just a rotation of guys who are already on the 40-man roster and not some of the non-roster guys. I don't even know if a non-roster guy makes it into the opening day roster at this point. Maybe they go out and bring in somebody else as well, but I think there's a very good chance it could just be the guys who are already here.